Hi, this is Bill Steffen. Hope you're doing well. I had a great Thursday. I went to the Meijer Gardens, and we're members out there, so I can go out there. And a lot of people came up and said hi to me, which is really kind of neat. They remember me. But we had a great time. We walked along the pond on the east side of the Meijer Gardens, and then up to the farm, and then over to the Japanese gardens, and then through all the sculptures and everything. It was quite a long walk, and I really enjoyed it there. I'm going to have to go back and do that again here real soon. All right, let's take a look at some interesting information. First of all, today is the first Friday of the month, and that means we test the sirens in Kent County, and a number of other counties test the sirens too at noon on Friday. They would not do that if there was a thunderstorm in progress. They would skip that. But one button triggers the sirens for the city of Grand Rapids, and I believe that's in the police dispatch area, and another for the rest of the county. It's possible that we could have a tornado in, let's say, Kent City, way up in the northern part of the county, but they would be sounding the sirens for the entire county. So just because you hear the siren does not necessarily mean that a tornado is coming right to your house, but it certainly behooves you to take action. And I'll read some of the words here, the graphic from the National Weather Service. The sirens are for outdoor warning purposes only. They're not meant to be heard indoors. So, some people that are inside said they didn't hear a siren. Well, not everybody can hear a siren even if they're outside, but most people can. And that's what those sirens are for. Hearing a siren is a signal to move indoors and seek additional information. You, of course, want to get to the lowest floor you can get to, basement if you got it, and stay away from windows, especially windows on the west and south sides of the building. It does not mean the threat has ended when the sirens stop sounding. Okay, sirens were activated by the city officials and not the National Weather Service. And there have been a couple of stories recently about sirens not going off because there was nobody there to activate the siren. Everybody had vacated for one reason or another, and that can be a problem. I remember. There was a tornado in Siren, Wisconsin, aptly named Siren, Wisconsin, and they had a big siren, and the siren didn't work, and I told them, well, what would it cost to fix the siren? And somebody said about $3,000. And I said, well, golly, hold a bake sale, have a car wash, do something, but, get your siren fixed here. It was interesting. All right, let's go on and take a look at some more interesting information here for you. 11 o'clock in the morning, a difference in temperatures, and on Thursday, the satellite picture shows it was overcast and raining as you went southeast toward Detroit, Jackson, Coldwater. If you were north of Grand Rapids, the sun was shining, and it made a really big difference in terms of temperature. I'll go south to north here, and you can see the rundown of temperatures. Battle Creek socked under the low clouds. They were only 59 degrees. Grand Rapids, right on the borderline between the clouds and the sunshine. The Grand Rapids Airport was 64. And they were reporting partly cloudy. It may have actually been mostly cloudy there for a little while. Comstock Park, 68 degrees, 4 degrees warmer than the southeast part of town. And Cadillac, a warm spot at 72 degrees. So Cadillac was, what would that be, 13 degrees warmer than Battle Creek. Don't see that too often. And same thing at the lake. It was cloudy at South Haven. At the lighthouse, the temperature there was 63. At the Muskegon Pier, the sun was out, so even though it was farther north, the temperature there was 6 degrees warmer at 69. Interesting. Lake Michigan forecast here for the day tomorrow looks like this. Friday winds will be northeast to north-northwest, 5 to 10 knots, so not terribly strong. We expect waves to be 6 inches to a foot. Temperatures will be in the 60s. I do think the lake breeze will be strong enough to overcome the land breeze. So if you're right by the lake, you may see a high temperature peak at noon maybe, and then the temperature may fall back a couple of degrees as the wind swings off the lake. And there's a look at some water temperatures for you. Holland Channel is at 59. The Saugatuck Oval Beach, 50. Muskegon Beach at 52, and Reeds Lake Inland at 67. So this is the time of the year when you want to go swimming, you might want to pick an inland lake, because the inland lakes are certainly going to have warmer water than the cold waters of Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan's a little bit slow to warm up this year. We were looking at the water temperatures out at the mid-lake buoys, and they were like in the mid-40s yet, so that's pretty chilly. Okay, air quality across the area. Let's talk about that a little bit here. We've had an air quality alert in effect for us here, and that lasts until noon today, this Friday. A little update on the fires in Manitoba, which is where our smoke is coming from. There are 27 significant fires going on. 23 of them are, quote, being addressed, unquote, which means that there are 4 of them that are just letting burn because they're not that big of an issue. But the other ones they are, and 9 of them are still classified as out of control, that sounds like bad news, but that does mean that 16 of them are coming under control right now, which is good. And they have increased the number of helicopters now to 43, and that's got to be quite an operation there. They have these buckets, and they pick up the water. They hover over the water, and the bucket comes down, picks up the water, and then goes over to the where the fire is and drops it. And they can get those going at a pretty good rate here. Okay, and then we have one more fire graphic here for you. This shows again the cloud line yesterday, the satellite picture from Thursday, June 5th. There are 79 pieces of heavy equipment in Manitoba fighting the fires, and 5 other aircraft, and I'm assuming that other aircraft are planes that drop chemicals rather than just water, not the 6 water bombers that they have going by. 186 firefighters. There are probably some other people that are involved in fighting the fires, but not on a full-time trained basis like that. And there's one large U.S. air tanker is on loan to Canada at this point. They have flown that up there, and that is helping out. So I think the conditions are going to be improving here with time. All right, let's take a look at what's going on up in Alaska. That's a picture I got from Thursday evening from Point Lay. And boy, it looks like midwinter up there. Look at the amount of snow they've still got. Point Lay is on the northwest coast of Alaska, and it is a very cold place. Some of the temperatures here on Thursday, high temperature Valdez at 46, average is 62, so that's 16 degrees cooler than average. Utquivik at 31. They have yet to get above freezing this year. So 31 is one of the warmest temperatures that they have had. I assume with the 24-hour sun that they get up there that it'll just be a matter of a few days before they can finally crack that 32-degree mark. The average high temperature peaks in about the 3rd, 4th week of January at 47. So if you want to go to a place that stays cold in the summertime, that's the place to go. Dead Horse was the coldest place in Alaska. They had a high temperature of just 30 degrees yesterday. So interesting. All right, another interesting fact here for you. We've had no hurricanes in the Northern Hemisphere through June the 5th. And through the satellite era, which goes back to 1973, we cannot find another year when there has not been at least one bona fide hurricane in the Northern Hemisphere by June the 5th. So that's some good news, I guess. Nothing happening in the next week in the Atlantic area. We do expect at least a tropical storm to develop in the Pacific. If you look at the middle map there, that's where that X is right now, and the red hatched area is where that may be. However, that storm is not going to be a really big monster, at least we don't think so. So if that does not reach hurricane status, we may go another week here without getting any hurricanes. And the map on the right is the western Pacific Ocean. You know, hurricanes tend to form this time of year and throughout the summer and hit places like the Philippines and Taiwan, Japan, places like that. And really, it has been unusually quiet around here, which is good. We had Alvin, just a tropical storm, and only for about 3/4 of a day, I think. And that was West Coast. That did produce a little bit of rain in the desert southwest of the United States. All right, time to thank our sponsors, starting with Complete Care Concierge. Here's Michelle.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here's a look at our headlines. Dry weather expected today and Saturday. Pleasant temperatures in the 70s during the afternoon. I think Saturday will turn out to be mostly sunny, but there will be some showers and a possible thunder shower here Sunday. Most likely time for that would be during the mid to late afternoon. So you can plan your weekend. Saturday looks good for everybody that's got an open house or a wedding to go to, something like that. The weather should be fantastic. Okay, let's go on, take a look at sunrise and sunset time. We've gained another minute. 6:04 is the sunrise time. We go to 6:03 here in a couple of days, and that is as early as the sunrise gets here in West Michigan. Sunset time is now at 9:18, and the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, is on June the 20th. All right, let's take a look then at the amount of rain that we're going to get over the next 66 hours. And you can see that there's the yellow and orange colors from Kansas across much of Oklahoma into Arkansas and into Tennessee. A large area there picking up 1.5 inches, and that's an area that's seen a lot of rain already. So they're going to have a hard time getting in some of their fields with the standing water that's going around there. And you can see the significant rain does head up into New England, some yellow showing up there as well. A little bit of green in Michigan, and if we kind of zoom in and take a look at Michigan here, you can see that the inland areas really won't be seeing a whole lot of rain. Like I said, the odds of getting 1 inch of rain are at just 1% there, 1/2 inch of rain at 5%. So this would be rainfall that would occur in the 66-hour period right at the end. That 60 to 66-hour period will be dry until then, and you can see the rain coming up from the south. But Sunday could still be dry from about US 10 off to the north here. So interesting map there that kind of shows that, tries to divide out the rain there for you by time. All right, here's a look at severe weather, and there's going to be a bunch of it again. Look at that area. What does that look like? Does that look like a fish or something like that that's swimming left to right or something like that? And there's one little tiny slight risk area up there in Massachusetts. No thunder showers for Michigan. You can see we're colored white there. But a lot of strong thunderstorms from far eastern New Mexico and southeast Colorado all the way to the Smoky Mountains. We'll move ahead to Saturday and show you the same area is going to get clobbered again. Places like Little Rock and Oklahoma City, almost all the state of Tennessee picking up on the strong thunderstorms here. And you can see the Atlanta area getting crunched here this weekend, and Birmingham. Good luck, Michelle. They may have a ground stop there at the airport. Again, nothing coming up for West Michigan here at all. Okay, today's weather looks like this. High temperature should be in the inland areas in the mid-70s here, 76, 77 for Grand Rapids, 54 the low. We'll call it partly cloudy skies. Humidity drops to 45% in the afternoon. Winds east to northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour, but keep in mind that the lake breeze will probably kick in and those winds will haul around more to the northwest here during the afternoon at some point. High temperatures look like this. The maps don't change much over the next 3 days because the weather doesn't change that much. 77 for Grand Rapids, 65 for South Haven. So models are forecasting that lake breeze to come in there a little bit. Ludington Airport, a little bit farther inland, they reach 72. Traverse City will have a lake breeze. They reach 73, and then the wind will turn north off the water. It'll be northeast probably in the morning off the land. Outlook for Saturday shows temperatures about the same. We're still 77 degrees in Grand Rapids. It's warm. It's going to be a couple degrees warmer at the lakeshore. You can see South Haven at 66, Benton Harbor 69, and Traverse City back to 73 once again. And the outlook for Sunday shows temperatures once again in the mid-70s, maybe a degree or two cooler on Sunday because the clouds will be coming in, and I think will be pretty cloudy with a chance of showers during the afternoon. But 3 days with temperatures pretty similar. You can see it's a little cooler in the UP where that northeast wind would be coming in off Lake Superior. Marquette Airport is inland, and they're still at 64, probably 50s, right at the Lake Michigan shoreline. And we're going to go out to 5 days here, show you partly to even mostly sunny skies at times for Friday and Saturday. Chance for showers and thunder showers Sunday, probably nothing severe here. There'll be a chance for some lingering showers here Monday, and then partly sunny on Tuesday, but temperatures in the 70s. That's pretty typical here for this time of year. The 8 to 14 day outlook, which is issued every day, they issue a new one. This one right here shows the warm air from the plain states coming east into the Great Lakes. And we're looking for several warm days from the 13th through the 19th, where high temperatures will be in the mid, maybe even upper 80s. So you can plan on some more summer-like weather. By then, maybe we'll get the water temperatures up and you can think about swimming. But you can see where the cool air is kind of cut off. It's even starting to warm up a little bit in Alaska there, but you can see the west coast of the United States expected to see below average temperatures. In terms of rainfall out to 8 to 14 days, you can see we're in the near normal category, above average in the southern United States, and in the Pacific Northwest, kind of a cool and wet pattern for them. So that's the way the weather looks right now. It looks like a pretty good couple of days for us here, Friday and Saturday. Michelle is working at the airport tonight, so it's just me, and we'll start out with June 6, 1944 being D-Day. That's a picture of my father in World War II. He was not a part of D-Day. I want to make that clear. He was a supply sergeant at the time at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. He started out, he enlisted in the Army because he knew he'd be at war with Hitler. He had been over there playing drums in a band sponsored by Northwestern University, touring Europe. During the summer of 1939, I think it was. In fact, they made a movie out of that called Swing Kids. That wasn't really based on what they did, but the Northwestern University band went there and played swing and jazz. And the people, my dad said the people looked at me like I was from Mars. You know, they were used to wearing white gloves and waltzing and whatnot. We didn't do many waltzes, but. He went from, he was from Chicago. He had basic training at Rockford, went to Missouri, Alabama, North Carolina, California, and wound up in Oklahoma for a couple of years. And I think I've talked before about his brother going off to India to fix motorcycles for the Brits. And he was in India for a couple of years. So it's interesting. But some interesting facts about D-Day here. 160,000 troops landed on the French coast. Grand Rapids has about 190,000 people. So if you can imagine most of the population of Grand Rapids landing on the beach at, Holland, Grand Haven, and Hofmaster, it would be quite a spectacle to see. They gained a foothold in Europe to fight World War II. That was very good. Weather played an important role in the timing of the mission, and it was up to Dwight Eisenhower, to make the final decision to go. And relying on his weather reports, which turned out to be pretty good. They didn't have satellites back there or anything, but they managed to get that through. There was a tremendous loss of life, as you can see, among the Allied soldiers, over 4,400 and over 2,500 American deaths. Total 407,316 U.S. soldiers were killed in World War II. My dad was one of 7 brothers. There was one girl in the middle, and we didn't lose a single brother in World War II. It's interesting. All right, next slide for you. Some activities going on this summer that you might want to think about. The first jump into summer at Saugatuck going on. Free street party, free. I like that. Hands-on activities. There'll be food trucks there, music playing. For more information, you can check out the Saugatuck Center of the Arts. And Saugatuck, great community. If you've never been to Saugatuck State Park, there's just I think over a mile of beach that you can walk up and down there. It's a great place to find your own space. Another activity for you this weekend, Grand Haven First Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. today. Restaurants, shops will be open. There'll be music. There'll be offers for you, special offers, samples, gallery uptown, an open house. So if you want to check out Grand Haven First Friday, if you be along the lakeshore, it might be a good time to stop and pick up some food and enjoy the evening there. It should be good weather for both the events in Saugatuck and in Grand Haven. June 6, 1962, Meijer Thrifty Acres opens. That's the first big store, and that was at 28th and Kalamazoo, or I believe there's still a store. Operated as a grocery store since 1934, starting in Greenville, but expanded to a grocery and department store concept in 1962, and it was renamed to just Meijer. It's not Meijer Thrifty Acres anymore. And it is Meijer. It's not Meijers plural. It's Meijer. There's only one company, 1986. And there I am with Sandy. All my girls got a chance to ride Sandy when they were little, and they're in their 40s right now. And that is interesting. I have let's go on to the next slide here. I think there's something tied in with this. How many Meijer stores are there? Oh, okay. Tough question. There are Meijer stores throughout Michigan, I believe, and they are now in Ohio, Indiana, in Illinois, and Kentucky. There's a few of them in Kentucky. I don't know if they're in any other state. How many Meijer stores are there? Let's see. I'll guess 150. How's that? What do we get? 272. I was a little shy there. 124 are in Michigan, okay, and 6 states. So we got Wisconsin there at the end. So they've expanded into Wisconsin right now. But I remember my father-in-law being excited when they got theirs in the western suburbs of Chicago, because he was familiar with the Meijer stores here, and he thought it was a great store, a good concept, and it would be a real success. And it turns out it has been. But 272, very good. Are there more Meijer stores or Walmart stores in Michigan? Oh, wow. What do you think, everybody? You got something in mind here? I think it's pretty similar, I would think. So there's 274 or whatever we decided there. Let's say it's even. Maybe I'll guess Meijer because there's I like the Meijers. Okay, let's take a look. Meijer 124, and yeah, they are pretty much the same there. Walmart at 117. Interesting. Big retail, the big box stores. And by the way, the margins that they have are not terribly great. If you go to a store, it's not like some items that are marked up and then marked down 50% and whatnot. The profit margin on food, especially in this market, is pretty small. We're getting a pretty good deal here. Okay, let's go on and see what's next. Well, look at that. Meijer is for kids, free pony ride. I've been saving this free pony ride token since I was 8 years old, Michelle. Okay, I won't tell you how old she is now, but we're past the 40. I have a couple of passes from long ago to the dune buggy rides. I'll have to go up and see if those are true. And I have a card for a free ice cream cone at the Purple Cow at Meijer's that I got from Fred Meijer, and he autographed it himself. And I've never used it because I thought an autograph from Fred Meijer is worth more than an ice cream cone that would be gone in about 10 minutes. So that's interesting. I'll have to put those two together here, but some trivia there, some interesting trivia about Walmart and Meijer stores. All right, June 6, 1964, new Kent County Airport opened in Cascade Charter Township. Wow, Grand Rapids. The old airport, by the way, used to be at off of 36th Street, just south of 36th Street, Roger B. Chaffee Drive down there. And they have moved the official weather station for the city of Grand Rapids with the airports. The thermometer used to run, actually way back in the old days, it was up at the Veterans Facility up on next to the Grand River down in the valley there a little bit. But it moved to the downtown for a little bit, and then out to the airport, to the first airport, and then to the new Kent County Airport, which we still use today, now called the Ford Airport, 1964. Okay, flights, Grand Rapids, 140 flights per day. I think I still enjoy going to sit a time or two a year at the viewing area, which is just off of Craft Street, um, on the south side of the airport, and you can take the kids down there, and they can watch the airplanes take off and land, and it's pretty cool. I do that a couple times a year. We take a picnic. There's picnic tables there. There's bathrooms that are open. There's a vending machine. So it's a nice place to be. But you can see the difference here. Grand Rapids, 140 flights a day. Detroit at 800 flights per day. DTW is Detroit. Estimated 100,000 commercial flights daily throughout the world. And it's incredible how safe flying is. We've had a slew of little problems, or not little problems. Some of them were bigger problems with airplanes, but really, air transportation is quite safe and has really made strides through the decades here. Interesting. All right, June 6th in history. Some other stuff. 1844, the YMCA was founded in London, England. Interesting. And that's the Young Men's Christian Association. 1892, the Chicago L begins operations. L for elevated, because it's above the roads in many areas. And of course, it's a subway for part of the ride as well. But that started in 1892. 1925, Walt Chrysler formed the original Chrysler Corporation. And in 1942, the Battle of Midway Airport, a major turning point in the war too, in World War II in the Pacific sector. So just some of the things that happened on this date in June 6th, courtesy of Alex. All right, so this is an interesting picture. This is from John Scully. That may be one of the rings at the playground. I don't know. I first saw that, and for a second, I thought it was the St. Louis Arch that you could go up in, and it looked like there were 2 croquet wickets down there at the bottom. But really a pretty picture. Look at all the different colors lined up horizontally, the blues and the grays and the purples and the orange tans down there at the bottom. Really a pretty picture. And we have another picture to share with you here. This is from John Doherty up in Benzie County, and you can see we were talking about this. I think that looks like sand. I'm guessing that's a sunrise. That would just be my guess. Okay, and you can see that we've got the varying colors as you can see with dawn coming up. Sun, by the way, sets more toward the northeast this time of year than the east. And you get a good hour's worth of twilight, especially if you're a little farther north up there toward Benzie County, which is pretty close to halfway between the North Pole and the equator. Interesting. Well, I think that's all the slides we got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you liked it, tell your friends about it. Don't forget, we've got a YouTube channel at Bill Steffen 616. I'm also at BillSteffen.com. So once again, have yourself a good Friday, great weekend. Don't forget siren test today. If you hear the sirens, not a weather problem. The sun should be shining here for a good portion of the day. Have a good one, everybody.